Record. So today we will discuss about the Python. What is Python and what language it is, what for it is used, how it is used. Okay. Python is a very rare language. It is very simple as well as very powerful language. So we can design mission critical, though it is very simple, we can design mission critical applications using Python programming language.
Okay.
And best part is it is easy to learn. So as we go, you will understand how simple and how easy to learn the language. So because of this feature, you can concentrate on solution to the problem rather than focusing on syntax and structure of the program. You can say based upon the requirement, you can start designing the application. You need not worry about the syntax and structure of the program. You can concentrate on the solution to a given requirement.
Okay.
And it has high-level data structures such as lists, tuples, dictionaries. Dictionaries are like hash tables in other languages. So it has high-level data structures. Arrays are also there. It has simple and effective approach to object-oriented programming. So the object-oriented programming is also simplified using Python. Python itself is a simple program, simple language, and OOPS is also very simple in Python. And Python can be used for rapid application development. Say, for example, if you get the requirements in the morning, by afternoon you can design the application, or by evening you can design the application. With such a great speed, you can design the application. We call it as rapid application development, or simply RAD, R-A-D, RAD. It has elegant syntax and dynamic typing. It doesn't have data types. You don't have to declare variables, which data they are going to store. You don't have to declare. So I will write a simple program. This is a PyCharm we use to write the program as well as execute the program. So
Okay.
here I will write a simple program, and it also supports dynamic typing. I will explain what is dynamic typing in a moment. Say x is equal to 10, y is equal to 20, z is equal to x plus y. Print z. What will happen? What is the answer? Very simple. The answer is 30.
30, 10 plus 20.
10 plus 20, that is 30. You will get 30. The same program, if I write x is equal to, say, hello, and y is equal to world, z is equal to x plus y, print z. Z and z, it is z. Z means z. In India we call it as z, and in USA they call it as z. Now tell me, if I execute this program, will it throw any error?
No.
In other programming languages it throws error, but here it will not throw any error. I click on this. So look at this. 30 is x plus y. It added two numbers. And hello world, it concatenated. It joined two strings. Hello is a string. World is also a string. So it joined these two strings and making one string, hello world.
Okay.
So that means plus operator is used to add numbers and plus operator is used to add strings. Okay. This is known as dynamic typing. What is the data type of X here in this example?
It's an
Integer.
integer.
It is an integer. So we can determine the data type of variable using a function called typex, type function. So I will write print data type of X, the variable X at line 1 is equal to this one. Similarly, the data type of X at line number 6, we can determine, one moment, I will copy this. At line 6, what is the data type of X? It is storing a string, right?
String.
Yes.
So the data type of X is string at line 6 and the data type of X is integer at line 1. It is evident. See, if I execute it, it will show that. So data type of X at line 1, integer. Class int means it belongs to class int. And 30 is the result of addition. And data type of X at line 6 is string. This example demonstrates we can determine the data type of a variable. The data type of the variable is determined by the value it is storing. Say 10 is an integer, right?
Yeah.
So in line 1, 10 is stored in X. That is an integer. So the data type of X is integer. In line 6, the value of X is hello. That means a string value is stored in the variable X. So the data type is determined as string. The data type of X is string. Even though you need not declare the data types of the variables. The data types of the variable is determined by the interpreter. Python is an interpreter. It is determined by the value you are storing. This is known as dynamic typing. Dynamic typing means based upon the value you store in the variable, the data type is determined by the interpreter. So what is an interpreter? Any idea?
Which executes the code line to line.
Line by line. Very good. So what is a compiler?
Executes after completion of full program.
It will not execute. See, I will explain the difference between. I will explain what is a compiler, what is interpreter, what is the difference. So we have two things. Interpreter. Python is an interpreter. Example of interpreter is Python. Whereas compilers, we have C language.
Program.
C compiler is there, Java compiler, C++ compilers. These are the compilers. Okay. Now, if we define if we design a program, I call it as prog1.c. In C language, assume that I designed a small program and I have given a name. That name of that file is prog1.c. Once I design the program, what I will do, I will submit this program to compiler, C compiler. What this C compiler will do, it will verify for grammatical errors in the program. Grammatical error means, in computer terminology, we call it as syntax errors. Grammatical errors means syntax
Syntax.
errors. So verify for syntax errors. This compiler will verify all the lines whether they are okay or any syntax errors. verify for syntax errors. If there are syntax errors, if yes, syntax errors are there, what it will do, all the errors are displayed on the monitor. So line number 5, this is error. Line number 16, this is error. Line number 20, this is error. Like that, it display all the errors in that program. They are known as syntax errors. What we will do, we'll go back to the prog1.c and fix the errors, save it, save the file, and again resubmit it to C compiler, and again it will verify for the syntax errors. Because we fixed all the syntax errors, then now here no syntax errors. Now no syntax errors. In that case, what will happen? The compiler will generate an executable file, exe file, executable file. So now it will execute. In this example, we have prog1.c. It will generate prog1.exe. This prog1.exe file will give to the customer or the client. Client will be using this program. And this prog1.c, we design this program. We call it as source code. Source code. Okay? There are two different things. Now coming back to interpreter, what it will do. Suppose we design a program in Python. I save it in a file called prog1.py. Py is the extension for Python programs. .c is the extension for C programming language. Now you submit it to interpreter, Python interpreter. What this interpreter will do, it will read first line. Okay? And once it reads the first line, it will verify for syntax errors. Verify for syntax errors. If there are syntax errors, if yes, syntax errors are there, then it will stop execution. Stop execution and show the result, show the error to the user. Show the error to the user. Now we'll go back and fix the error and save it in a file, and again resubmit it to Python interpreter. Again it will read the first line. This time there are no syntax errors, so no syntax errors. What it will do in that case, that line will be converted to bytecode. That will be converted to bytecode and executes immediately. Executes immediately. You will get the result immediately. And again, after executing the first line, it will go to the next line. Again, it will verify for syntax errors. If there are syntax errors, it will stop execution there. And the error is shown to the user. At line number 2, this is the error. So you have to fix it. Like that, it will read line by line, verify for the syntax errors. If there are no syntax errors, that line is converted to bytecode. Bytecode means machine language code, and it will be executed immediately. Now you understood the difference between compiler and interpreter?
Yes, sir.
Any question?
No.
Okay. Right. So with Python, we can achieve many things actually. So it is an interpreter, and it is, so we have the person who designed this programming language. His name is Gaudio van Rossum. He is a creator of the Python language, and way back in 1995, he designed this program. And that time there were not a lot of features. There were no features at all. And later on, because of this machine learning and artificial intelligence, the demand for Python, the popularity of Python increased, and people started knowing it. And across the globe, We have a group of software engineers. They work freely and they improve the Python interpreter. Suppose if I ask you to download the Python, you are downloading the Python interpreter. Okay? So you can achieve many things actually. It is portable also. The language, that means if you design in one environment, say Windows environment, you design the application using Python. That can be implemented in other environments such as Linux or Unix or Macintosh, etc. So it is portable. It is portable and very easy to learn. So we have extensive libraries. Huge libraries are there. Say for example, you want to do some unit testing, or you want to do multi-threading programming, or you want to do database programming, you want to design a web browser. For all these things, we have libraries. We call them as modules, and we can achieve anything. We can design anything with rapid application development. Within no time, you can design the application. Okay, so we can achieve anything with Python, and Python is very simple to design, simple and effective. You can design mission critical applications. In fact, in UK, one student he designed a Python program. Whenever he designed a dinosaur on his desktop, whenever somebody tweets about dinosaurs, then immediately on his system, the dinosaur will roar. Okay. So if somebody mentions about dinosaurs on Twitter, on his desktop, immediately the dinosaur will roar. So that is an interesting thing. A student in UK, he designed the development. So let's be clear about something. You won't learn enough in this course to start adding special effects to the next big superhero movie like Bahubali, but you will definitely learn enough to start solving real world problems with code or just start having fun. Okay, so you can. This is all about Python, and you can and. The course duration is normally 2 months or 1.5 month, and I will be giving a lot of exercises. So it will be quizzes and exercises. So you can design the programs and you can master within no time. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
So I will stop here for today's discussion. Who else joined? Harshavardhan, Meghna, and Sidhu, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I will stop here for today's discussion, and we'll see how it goes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay then. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.